there! Ready for a wellness adventure? Let's explore the world of health together.
Why your eyes are a certain color, or how your body knows to heal a cut. The secret lies in a tiny, incredible molecule inside almost every cell of your body, DNA. Today, we're going on a journey deep into the cell to uncover how the blueprint of life, our DNA, builds and runs everything. Let's start with the star of the show, deoxyribonucleic acid, or DNA. Imagine a massive, detailed instruction manual for building and operating a human being. That's essentially what DNA is. This manual is stored securely within a special compartment in our cells called the nucleus. According to the National Institutes of Health, this isn't just a random collection of information. Now, here is a mind-bending fact. A muscle cell and a brain cell in your body have virtually the same DNA manual. So why are they so different? It's because they're reading different chapters. What makes each cell unique is which parts of the DNA are actively being used, a process we call gene expression. Let's look closer at the DNA molecule itself. It's famous for its double helix shape, like a twisted ladder. The sides of the ladder are made of sugar and phosphate, and the rungs are where the real information is. These rungs are made of pairs of 4 chemical bases: adenine, thymine, cytosine, and guanine. Let's call them a T, C, and G. The cool part is, they always pair up in a specific way. A always pairs with T, and C always pairs with G. This predictable pairing is crucial. This ensures that every new cell gets an identical and accurate copy of the genetic manual. A gene is a specific section of DNA, like a single recipe in a giant cookbook. This recipe contains the instructions for making one specific protein. But not all of DNA is made of recipes. Some parts are like the cookbook's index or chapter introductions, telling the cell when and how often to use a particular recipe. This regulation is what allows cells to specialize. A muscle cell will constantly use the recipes for contraction proteins, while a liver cell will focus on recipes for metabolic enzymes. The process of using a gene to make a protein happens in 2 main stages. The first stage is called transcription. So, when the cell needs a recipe, it makes a temporary, disposable copy. This copy is called messenger RNA, or mRNA. This happens right inside the nucleus. An amazing molecular machine called RNA polymerase slides along the DNA of a gene and synthesizes a matching RNA strand. RNA is very similar to DNA, but with one little difference. Instead of thymine, it uses a base called uracil. So, where DNA cell would pair with T, in RNA it pairs with U. As public university research shows, transcription is a highly controlled process. It's not just happening all the time. Special proteins act like gatekeepers, deciding which genes should be copied and which should remain silent. Once this mRNA copy is made, it's not quite ready to leave the nucleus. It gets a little bit of editing first. After this processing, this is where the action really begins. The second stage of gene expression is called translation. This is where the language of genes, written in the nucleotide alphabet, is translated into the language of proteins, written in the amino acid alphabet. This happens at incredible cellular factories called ribosomes. The ribosome clamps onto the mRNA strand and starts reading its sequence. That's the job of another type of RNA, called transfer RNA, or tRNA. Each tRNA molecule is like a specialized delivery truck. It has a code on one end that matches an mRNA codon, and it carries the corresponding amino acid on the other end. The result is a long chain of amino acids, called a polypeptide. According to the CDC, this translation process must be incredibly precise. A single mistake can lead to the wrong amino acid being added, potentially creating a useless or even harmful protein. Now we have a chain of amino acids, but it's not a functional protein yet. The sequence of these amino acids dictates how the chain will twist and fold into a complex. An enzyme needs a specific shape to grab onto its target molecule. A structural protein needs a specific shape to provide strength and support. If a protein misfolds, the cell has mechanisms to try and fix it or break it down. But if these systems fail, these faulty proteins can build up and cause serious problems, disrupting the cell's normal functions. Your cells are constantly adjusting which proteins they make based on signals from their environment. If you eat a sugary snack, your cells get the signal to ramp up production of proteins that handle glucose. If you're stressed, they'll produce stress response proteins. This adaptability is key to survival, allowing our bodies to respond to the constant changes happening both inside and outside. There's another layer of control called epigenetics. These are chemical tags that can be attached to DNA or its packaging proteins. These tags don't change the DNA sequence itself. According to recognized medical institutions, these epigenetic changes are influenced by our development, aging, and even our lifestyle and environment. They help explain how two people with identical DNA, like twins, can still have different health outcomes. We've talked about copying genes and building proteins, but what about copying the entire DNA manual before a cell divides? This is called replication. These are called mutations. While some mutations have no effect, others can change your protein's function, for better or for worse, potentially impacting everything from our metabolism to our risk for certain diseases. This entire flow of information from DNA to RNA to protein is often called the central dogma of molecular biology. It's the fundamental principle that explains how the genetic blueprint stored in DNA is brought to life. The DNA provides the stable, long-term plan. Transcription decides which parts of the plan are needed right now, and translation builds the actual machinery, the proteins that get the job done. Understanding this intricate dance of molecules gives us incredible insight into health and disease. When this process works well, our bodies run smoothly. Biomedical research institutions have shown that many conditions, both inherited and acquired, have their roots in these fundamental cellular processes. So, to wrap it all up, our DNA is the master blueprint, stored safely in the nucleus. Through transcription, temporary mRNA copies of specific genes are made. These copies travel to the cytoplasm, where translation occurs at the ribosomes, turning the genetic code into a chain of amino acids. This chain folds into a functional protein that carries out a specific task. This entire system is exquisitely regulated, allowing our cells to specialize, adapt, and maintain the complex and wonderful thing that is a living human. Ever wonder what the true workhorses of your body are? It's not your DNA. While DNA holds the blueprint, it's the proteins that get the job done. They are the tiny machines, the messengers, and the scaffolding that make life possible. Today, we are diving deep into the incredible world of proteins and discovering why they are. At its core, a protein is a long chain of smaller molecules called amino acids, all linked together. But the magic isn't just in the chain, it's in how that chain folds. The specific sequence of amino acids dictates an intricate three-dimensional shape. This folding process is incredibly precise. If a protein misfolds, it can't do its job correctly. Luckily, our cells have amazing quality control systems that find and remove these faulty proteins, keeping everything running smoothly. Let's start with one of the most vital classes of proteins: enzymes. Think of enzymes as biological catalysts. Almost every metabolic process, from digesting your food to replicating your DNA, relies on an enzyme. For instance, when you eat, digestive enzymes break down large food molecules into smaller units your body can absorb. Inside your cells, other enzymes are busy managing energy production. They achieve this by lowering the energy barrier for reactions, allowing them to happen quickly and efficiently at body temperature. Each enzyme is a specialist, with a uniquely shaped active site that fits its specific target molecule, or a substrate, like a key in a lock. This ensures that the right reactions happen at the right time and in the right place. But proteins aren't just about speeding up reactions, they also provide structure and support. Take collagen, for example. It's the most abundant protein in your body and forms the strong, flexible framework of your skin, bones, and tendons. Then there's keratin, the protein that gives strength to your hair and nails. And inside your muscles, proteins called actin and myosin work together, contracting and relaxing to allow you to move. Without these structural proteins, our bodies would lack shape, strength, and the ability to move. Any defects in these proteins can lead to weakened tissues and serious health issues. Next up, let's talk about transport. Your body is a bustling city, and it needs a sophisticated delivery system to move things around. That's where transport proteins come in. The most famous one is hemoglobin, found in your red blood cells. It picks up oxygen in your lungs and delivers it to every cell in your body, fueling your cellular engines, carrying hormones, fatty acids, and other important molecules to their destinations. Proteins are also embedded in our cell membranes, acting as gatekeepers that control what goes in and out, which is crucial for things like nerve signals and muscle function. Hormones like insulin are proteins that travel through the bloodstream and bind to specific receptor proteins on the surface of cells. This binding triggers a chain reaction inside the cell, telling it what to do, like taking up sugar from the blood. This precise signaling network ensures that all your body's systems work together in harmony, from managing your blood sugar to mounting an immune response. Speaking of the immune response, proteins are your body's frontline defenders. Antibodies are specialized proteins that recognize and latch on to foreign invaders like bacteria and viruses. By tagging these pathogens, antibodies mark them for destruction by other immune cells. The incredible specificity of our immune system is a perfect example of how a protein's unique structure allows it to perform a highly specialized task. Proteins are also the motors that drive movement at the cellular level. We already mentioned myosin in our muscles. But other motor proteins are busy inside your cells, acting like tiny freight trucks. They haul vesicles and other cellular cargo along a network of tracks called the cytoskeleton, ensuring that materials get where they need to go. This internal transport system is vital for maintaining cellular organization and function. And it doesn't stop there. Proteins even control which genes get turned on or off, ensuring that the right proteins are made at the right time. For example, when your body's under stress, certain transcription factors switch on genes that produce protective proteins, helping your cells cope with the challenge. Now, proteins don't last forever. Old or damaged proteins are broken down, and new ones are synthesized to take their place. The rate of this turnover varies. Some enzymes might be replaced in minutes, while structural proteins like collagen can last for months or even years. To build these new proteins, your body needs a steady supply of amino acids from your diet. That's why getting enough protein in your food is so important for tissue repair, immune function, and overall health. When protein function goes wrong, the consequences can be severe. A single error in the amino acid sequence of hemoglobin can cause sickle cell anemia. A misfolded enzyme can disrupt a critical metabolic pathway, from their basic sequence to their complex 3D shape. So, in summary, proteins are the undisputed champions of cellular activity. They are the enzymes that drive our metabolism, the structural components that give us form. They are truly the molecules that bring the genetic blueprint to life. Have you ever wondered how your body stays in working order day after day, year after year? It's not magic. It's an incredible, non-stop process of cellular repair and turnover. Think of your body as a bustling city that never sleeps. Every single second, billions of cells are working, getting old, taking damage, and being replaced. It's a constant cycle of maintenance that keeps you alive and functioning. Our cells are always under stress. Just by living and breathing, our metabolic processes create reactive byproducts that can cause damage. Add to that environmental factors like UV radiation from the sun, which can harm our DNA, or even just the mechanical strain of moving around. And you can see our cells have a lot to deal with. According to the National Institutes of Health, these efficient repair systems are absolutely essential for keeping our genetic code intact and preventing our bodies from declining. Let's start with the master blueprint, our DNA. It's constantly under attack. Reactive oxygen species, which are normal byproducts of our metabolism, can alter it. External things like radiation or chemicals can cause even more damage. But don't worry, we have a defense force. Specialized enzymes are always patrolling our DNA, scanning for any mistakes. When they find a damaged section, they snip it out and rebuild it perfectly, using the other strand as a template. It's a high-fidelity correction process that ensures our genetic information stays accurate. We actually have several different DNA repair teams, each with a special job. Base excision repair fixes small, single-base errors. and mismatch repair crux typos that happen when our DNA is copied during cell division. Molecular biology research shows that when these pathways don't work correctly, mutations can pile up, which can lead to serious problems with how our cells are regulated. But it's not just about DNA. Our proteins, the workhorses of the cell, also need maintenance. Over time, they can get worn out, misfolded, or chemically damaged. Our cells have a strict quality control system. The ubiquitin proteasome system acts like a cellular recycling program. It finds and tags defective proteins, which are then broken down into their basic building blocks, amino acids. These amino acids are then recycled to build brand new, functional proteins. This whole cycle is called protein turnover, and it's crucial for keeping our cellular machinery running smoothly. Another key maintenance process is called autophagy, which literally means self-eating. It sounds a bit dramatic, but it's a vital cleanup operation. During autophagy, cells break down and recycle larger components, like old and damaged organelles, including the mitochondria, which are our cellular power plants. This helps maintain energy efficiency and prevents the buildup of cellular junk. Biomedical research institutions have linked problems with autophagy to metabolic disorders and even neurodegenerative conditions. Of course, sometimes cells are too old or damaged to be repaired. That's where cell division and renewal come in. Many of our tissues rely on stem cells to replace aging cells. These amazing cells can divide and transform into specialized cell types. Take our intestinal lining, for example. It completely renews itself every few days thanks to stem cells constantly producing new cells. This rapid turnover is what maintains the gut's barrier and allows us to absorb nutrients effectively. The rate of this renewal varies a lot throughout the body. As we said, the intestinal lining is super fast. Our skin cells are replaced about every few weeks. Red blood cells have a lifespan of about 120 days before they are taken out of circulation and replaced. Even our bones are in a constant state of remodeling, with old bone being broken down and new bone being built. Public health research shows these turnover rates reflect how much stress a tissue is under in its specific job. However, not all tissues regenerate so easily. Muscle tissue has a more limited ability to repair itself. After an injury, specialized cells called satellite cells help with repairs. Getting enough protein in our diet and exercising helps stimulate this process. But with a severe injury, or if we're inactive for a long time, this regenerative ability can decline. The nervous system is even more restricted. For the most part, mature neurons, the main cells in our brain, don't divide. While some specific areas of the brain can create new neurons, extensive damage is often permanent. Aging naturally affects all these repair mechanisms. Over time, our DNA repair can become less efficient. Oxidative damage can accumulate. Protein turnover can slow down, and the activity of our stem cells can decrease. Research on aging shows that this gradual decline in our body's repair capacity is a major contributor to the functional decline we see as we get older. So, what can we do to support these vital processes? Nutrition is a huge factor. Our bodies need amino acids from protein to build new proteins. Vitamins and minerals act as essential helpers for DNA repair enzymes. For instance, folate and vitamin B12 are needed to make the building blocks of DNA. Iron is crucial for transporting oxygen, which powers the energy-intensive work of repair. If we don't get enough of these nutrients, our maintenance systems can't work at full capacity. Energy is also key. All these cellular repairs require energy in the form of ATP. If we're in a prolonged energy deficit, our cells will prioritize basic survival over repair and regeneration. On the flip side, a chronic energy surplus, especially when combined with metabolic imbalances, can actually increase oxidative stress, putting even more demand on our repair systems. Inflammation plays a dual role. Acute, short-term inflammation is part of the healing process. It brings in immune cells to clear out damaged tissue and kickstart regeneration. But chronic low-grade inflammation is a different story. Global health institutions have shown that persistent inflammation can actually get in the way of normal repair and damage our tissues over time. Sometimes, a cell is so severely damaged that the best thing for the body is to get rid of it. This is a process called apoptosis, or programmed cell death. It is a controlled self-destruction that prevents damaged DNA from being passed on and helps maintain tissue order. It's a clean and tidy way to remove cells that are beyond repair. The failure of this system is a hallmark of cancer, where damaged cells escape this process and begin to divide uncontrollably. So, how can we actively boost our body's regenerative powers? Exercise is one of the best ways. Physical activity puts mechanical stress on our muscles, which stimulates protein synthesis and the creation of new mitochondria. Weight-bearing activities help support bone remodeling. Physiology research confirms that moderate physical activity enhances our repair pathways and makes our tissues more resilient. And finally, never underestimate the power of sleep. While we sleep, our body is hard at work repairing itself. Hormones that favor growth and tissue repair, like growth hormone, are released during deep sleep. If we're chronically sleep deprived, we're robbing our body of this critical time for restoration and maintenance. In summary, our bodies are in a constant state of renewal. DNA repair fixes our genetic code, protein turnover replaces old parts, autophagy cleans up cellular waste, and stem cells regenerate entire tissues. Our ability to do this is shaped by our age, nutrition, energy levels, and lifestyle. By understanding these incredible processes, we can make better choices to support our body's natural ability to heal, regenerate, and stay healthy for the long haul. Thanks for watching. If you found this journey into the self fascinating, be sure to like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into the science of our amazing bodies. See you next time.
Thanks for watching. Hope you liked it.